What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with another video. Just before we get into the video, don't forget to like or dislike the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment down below. While kayfabe is no longer a closely guarded secret, there are still things that WWE would like to keep fans in the dark about. We already discussed 10 secrets in part 1, but now we have 10 more secrets that WWE doesn't want you to know. Number 1. Crowd plants. Longtime fans will remember watching the WWF syndicated show Superstars and seeing the camera zoom into kids grief-struck at the latest attack on Hulk Hogan or on other babyfaces. If you watch closely, you'll see some familiar faces over and over when the camera focused on particular fans. WCW used plants, but in a different way, hiring models to sit in the crowd, apparently thinking male fans would just attend to be around hot women. The WWE continues to use crowd plants, zooming in on audience members who oversell their emotions. There are genuine fan reactions, but the WWE sweetens their show with plants. In a 2016 interview, former WWE star Rene Dupree recalled the WWE using plants to start CM Punk chants. Yeah, they would do chants, and then it's like a ripple effect. They hear chants, 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 and then try and get the people up. CM Punk or ECW shirts. I'd see like 3 or 4 guys scattered around the arena, and I was like, wow. But I guess if you really want to get somebody over. Number 2. Dirt sheets. Vince McMahon likes keeping storylines secret as well as any news and rumors concerning the WWE. The dirt sheets changed this when they started talking to people inside the business, revealing pending storylines, news and rumors. They don't always get things right, and sometimes they get things very wrong. The dirt sheets also tend to play favorites with wrestlers who supply them information. Thanks to the information age, fans have a plethora of sources for wrestling news, some of it professional quality and some of it hack, cut and paste from dirt sheets or news sources. This infuriates Vince McMahon, and you can be certain if he could get away with it, he would have people liquidated for telling secrets. Number 3. Superstars talking during matches. Watch the wrestlers closely during a match and you might just catch them calling their next few moves.
Ryback is manhandling R-Truth. Anytime you can take a 240-pound man, Truth fight back down to the post, that is straight.
It's a poorly kept secret among longtime fans, or anyone who's seen a John Cena match, that wrestlers communicate with each other what moves are coming up next. For example, a wrestler may take down someone on the mat in a headlock, giving them time to rest, but also telling them what's coming. A wrestler can even help a green wrestler get into position. For example, Shawn Michaels once told the great Khali which camera to stand by during a Royal Rumble when Khali was facing the wrong way. Number 4. Backstage politics. Like any workplace, the WWE is full of office politics, with established wrestlers guarding their spots and sometimes even sabotaging rising stars. The WWE tends to police itself though, with wrestlers caught dispensing justice to wrestlers who ran afoul of each other. However, as we've seen in the past, sometimes wrestlers form their own powerful factions backstage, much like the powerful factions on camera. The Clique from the 90s is a textbook case of wrestlers getting together and steamrolling over anyone they didn't like or perceived as a threat. Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Sean Waltman and Triple H could make life hellish to the point that wrestlers like Shane Douglas bailed on the WWF, knowing they had no future as long as the Clique were manipulating things backstage. This wasn't just in the 90s, as former WWE writer Court Barr noted Shawn Michaels and Triple H badmouthed CM Punk during his tryout with the company. He commented, "One time, Triple H along with HBK buried CM Punk. I think it was his 2005 tryout. Maybe he didn't know the name and wasn't familiar with who it was, but they buried him. They annihilated his look and his work, and I'm like, you just sunk the guy in front of the chairman." While Shawn Michaels has denied this, other former WWE writer Alex Greenfield commented, "It was Shawn, Triple H and Arn. They f***ed up Punk. I don't know if they knew who CM Punk was, because I certainly didn't. They cut his work apart. They really buried the guy. When Shawn and Hunter were together, man, they buried a bunch of people who were just starting out. I remember they did the same thing to Bobby Lashley. Shawn and Hunter backstage at that event curtainside, they looked out there and just buried the guy. You know how everybody has that friend that brings out the worst in you? That's what it felt like all the time to me. Dude, they just turned into catty f***ing bitches." Number 5. Ring ropes. What exactly are ropes made of? As you might expect, they're not actual ropes, but what is known as strengthening wire. These wires are covered with foam, which in turn is taped over, usually with the colored tape for the desired appearance. These ropes are wound tight, giving them elasticity when hit the right way. Don't think it's easy to navigate the ring by bouncing off the ropes? Wrestlers, and particularly aspiring wrestlers, will tell you how difficult it is to learn to bounce off the ropes and how easy it is to get hurt doing so. Number 6. Vince always has the last say. The WWE has a team of writers and power couple Stephanie McMahon and Mr. Stephanie McMahon, aka Triple H, who have their influence, but Vince McMahon is still the last say in what happens in the WWE. As you can tell from the continued push of Roman Reigns as a face, despite the WWE booing him mercilessly, Vince McMahon can be one stubborn old goat. He can also be mercurial, scrapping a big angle on a dime, such as when he aborted the invasion angle just months into it. Vince McMahon built the WWF into a national promotion, launching WrestleMania and its many offshoots, so he naturally feels he has the instinct for what works. While it's arguable he doesn't always have his finger on the pulse of wrestling fans, that hasn't stopped him from doing things his way. Just remember though, this is the guy who sang and danced in the 80s video Stand Back and greenlit the film No Holds Barred. Number 7. Lack of audience. No wrestling promoter or producer with any brains wants fans at home to see a bunch of empty seats in the arena. That's why WCW moved its TV tapings to the much smaller studio in Disney, creating the illusion of a rabid fan base. A promoter can lower ticket prices at the last minute and or on pay-per event hand out free tickets, such as the 1997's Royal Rumble. There are ways to shoot an event to hide the small audience too. The WWE's Kevin Dunn is an artiste when it comes to making a sparsely attended event look bigger. Fans sitting in the upper deck can be invited to sit down lower, camera crews can be instructed not to pan too much or take long shots that highlighted empty seats. And then there are professional seat fillers, fans who are given complimentary tickets to the WWE events, but with a catch. Their butt literally and figuratively belongs to the WWE. Here, fans are given a wristband and a set of rules at times, told to get out of their seats and move to another section, creating the illusion of filled seats. Here are some rules the seat filler had to follow. Only after Raw was on the air, we were allowed to leave for concessions or bathroom breaks, as the crowd has typically arrived by then. But during Superstars, your ass better be at home base. Number 2. When filling a seat, if the people with the actual seat tickets show up, politely get up, explain the situation, and do one of the following. Turn in a 180-degree circle, and find another seat to fill or promptly return to your home base seat. As this particular seat filler noted, they got to sit in the third row during an episode of Raw as the WWE didn't want the hard camera shooting any empty seats. Number 8. Wyatt family magic. Some fans are still mystified by how Bray Wyatt shows up mysteriously in the ring to confront a babyface or make some other spooky appearance. Many fans figure Wyatt stays under the ring, but does he really wait several hours for his cue to hit? Back in the territory days, wrestlers who made surprise appearances from under the ring typically hid under the ring before the show and waited until their cue. That could be a bit much, as wrestlers had to bring a jug in case nature called. Today, wrestlers don't spend hours under the ring, but come out at a cue moment. For example, the WWE would cut the lights and have ring technicians in black come out to set things up. However, 3 of the technicians would slide under the ring while the lights were out, and later during the night, they would emerge in their real identities. Promoters can also use trapdoors, but as Davey Boy Smith found out, a trapdoor in the ring can lead to serious injuries. Smith injured his back when he took an awkward bump on a trapdoor that had been set up for the Ultimate Warrior's surprise appearance later that night. Number 9. Real weapons or fake weapons? There are a lot of rumors out there about whether the WWE uses gimmicked or fake weapons. By most accounts, foreign objects are subtly altered, but tend to be the real deal. For example, steel chairs are steel chairs. Some stories have it the rivets have been taken out to make them bend easier, or that the chair isn't solid steel. By wrestlers' accounts, the chairs are real, and the trick is both how to hit an opponent and how to take that hit. For example, a wrestler may aim for a more muscled area of the opponent's body when hitting the back. You'll also notice wrestlers putting up their hands to avoid chair shots to the head. This though has become less of an issue, as the WWE doesn't allow wrestlers to take unprotected chair shots to the head. In regards to ladders, The WWE reportedly uses ladders made out of lighter metal, but they still hurt like hell. Tables are gimmicked, and wrestlers are told to aim for the sweet spot in order to break it. But as you can see while watching a match, a table still has to support wrestlers' weight if they climb on it before hitting a move. And number 10. Real injuries. WWE superstars get hurt. Like any other athletes, there are inherent risks and inevitable injuries, often minor, but sometimes serious. Wrestlers work a grueling schedule, and the wear and tear on the body is tremendous. Factor in wrestlers taking insane bumps, and you have wrestlers who get hurt. While the WWE has toned down on insane bumps of the Attitude Era, such as Mankind falling off the Hell in a Cell cage, Shawn Michaels had to retire briefly after hurting his back in a casket match with The Undertaker, and a botched piledriver by Owen Hart shortened the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yes, this is entertainment, but the hazards are real. So whatever you do, don't try this at home. Well guys, there you have it. 10 more secrets the WWE doesn't want you to know. Is there anything else that you would like us to uncover? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.